Tracking. I've been thinking about tracking. Why would I want to do tracking? Tracking of hours and my social media and stuff. Well, this is what I want to talk about today. I'm going to get Elizabeth to come on. I'm Risha with Walden Interiors, and we're having our design tea. Although today I'm having coffee. Let's see. I want to talk about tracking because something that I should be doing, I don't do enough of, and it's like how many hours am I putting into a project? As I'm tracking it and what's my profit in the project? Is it worth it? Is this the kind of project I want to do? And I haven't been that great. Tracking hours is tough
Yeah.
because sometimes it's 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, and then how do you track that? You know?
Yeah.
So I just kind of like, just keep, doing the best I can. What else you can do? Just do the best you can. So what do
Yeah.
you think about tracking?
I agree with you. Tracking is important. And also, you have to factor in also like travel time, right? That's a big thing that I consider too. Like, how far is the
Travel
flight?
time. Yeah,
How
you
many
see,
trips do I have to
I
do?
never.
All the stores, site visits. So travel time in the car or planes or however you get to your client, that's a big part of it too that sometimes we don't think about.
Yeah. Well, clearly, because I'm going, oh, I don't really, sometimes I think about it, but I'm like, okay, that's all just part of the gig, like that hour, because then, like that travel time, I know that if I leave the office, I'm going to call this person, this person, this person, because I know I don't have to take notes or I'm following up on something. So I'll use that sort of like a semi office time, right?
Yeah, but if you have a client that's closer to your home or your office, it's much easier and cuts down so much time.
Right.
Whereas if they were further away, you have to fit them in differently into your schedule.
Right. And it's true because I do fit that in differently. I think about, okay, I'm going to do a site visit. Who all is going to be on this site visit?
Hmm.
Or like, what am I going to accomplish on this site visit? I'm not just going to show up. You better have like good, like if I'm traveling, it better be a good reason I'm showing up on the site, and good things have better have happened while I've been gone, because I don't want to show up and like, now I'm got to do this and now I got to do that. Cause I had a little issue with one of like a little light fixture.
Hmm.
The electricians put it in, but then the painters took it out because they were wallpapering, and then they put it in, and then my client wanted to change the bulb, and then she couldn't get it off. And so we told the painter, look, at you didn't install it properly.
Oh
And
boy.
he then says, well, that was like that. And we're like, okay, and then he couldn't get it off. And then she said, no, I think it's going to fall down. So then, like, I have to go on site because I don't know, the client doesn't know what's going on. So
Yeah.
I have to go on site and, figure the whole thing out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it was not far, but it wasn't, 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
Good 25.
Yeah. I definitely enjoy projects that are closer
Hmm. That's funny. I like projects that are far away because I get into new
or
neighborhoods.
projects where I have to get on a plane. Either
Totally.
really
Oh,
close or
sure.
really far.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I do because, like, I'm a vegan and there aren't
Mhm.
that many vegan restaurants, vegan places. So if a place happens to be close to a vegan shop, which a couple of my clients currently are, they're like a few minutes away from this. I'm like, that's not so bad. I'll go down, I'll get my vegan stuff.
Right.
So I don't mind it so much. But I suppose, yeah, um, if they're going away from like no vegan shop.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I was spoiled. So when I was in New York and
Yeah.
I was running my business there, a lot of my clients were literally right in my neighborhood, like within blocks. That
Yeah.
was my territory. And it was amazing because I would go I would literally drive a couple blocks on the way to dropping my kids at school. I could stop at like, and then I did have a few clients in New Jersey, obviously, much
Bigger.
different because you're talking at least an hour in the car there and back. But most of my clients were right in my neighborhood, which
Yeah,
was
that's nice.
amazing. So now here in Florida, I've worked on a few projects in my neighborhood again, and I have to say I love it. because I can literally like pop in and out whenever I
Yeah.
want. And it's so convenient.
Yes. Too convenient
Yeah.
because I've had clients right in the neighborhood and like I'm pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. I'm probably spending more time popping in and popping out than I
Oh
would on
no.
my client sort of
No,
seriously. I know, I was.
no. I am very careful with my time. Um, so no, I don't do that. But it is a lot easier when they're closer.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm careful with my time, but then there are just some clients you you start with and you think, you don't know until you know. Like and you're in the project and you're like, "Oh, this is, it's a little more hand holding. It's a little more you got to be present." And, sometimes it's their contractor, which is, more and more what I'm saying to people. I prefer my contractor. I don't want to lose out on a job because it's someone else's contractor, but I do know that if it is someone else's contractor, I have to add additional hours. I do. And I'm not putting especially when I do the flat fee. Because we were talking about this last time about how we bill, and you were talking about designer in a day,
Mhm.
which you've been promoting, I see on Instagram. Yeah.
I like it.
Right. You like it.
I do.
And so that's why we got into tracking. So back to tracking. I was tracking, like now I'm tracking, this is all the things I'm tracking. I'm tracking all my social media, like how many views, how many profiles, how many week to week that gets tracked, right?
Okay.
Tracking my hours on every project, track how many calls I make, how many texts I make. Actually, that's true until like when I fell down the stairs in August. Then I stopped tracking for a bit. But besides that, like it's tracking because I'm like, okay, yeah, I've made 100 calls this week. Well, I haven't, you know, I don't know until I like sit down, it's like, and same with the hours and then like tracking every single cent on my projects. Like,
Mm.
where is the money coming in? Where is it going out? And splitting that up to see, okay, where is the profit or where is there no profit? Like, why am I doing this? And like, there's no profit. So
Yeah.
one of the spaces, no profit is, and I have to rethink this, is like doing kitchens. And I'm not in charge of the product in the kitchen, the cabinets,
Yeah. I know.
because
And kitchens and bathrooms are so time consuming.
time consuming.
This is what I say all the time. That's why for a kitchen and a bathroom project that's full service, the design fee is substantial because it has
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
It has
It
to be.
is. It's
Otherwise, it's not worth it.
the details, and it's the details that make the
And you're
difference.
dealing with the contractor and all the trades. So there's like, 8 to 10 people
Mhm,
involved in that project. So
mhm.
yeah, the project management is a lot. But also too, I really like projects where the we're working on them when the client is not there. That's a total game changer because that eliminates so
Yes.
much extra work,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Especially when it's a kitchen or a bathroom. And if the client wants to live there through that, it's a bit of a red flag, honestly,
Yeah,
for me, based on my experience.
right. Well, I've had good ones
It's
where
hard.
they lived there, but it was, a single woman who had another kitchen downstairs, not a problem. She
Yeah,
set it
well,
up,
that's
wasn't a
different.
problem.
When you're trying to live in a house with a family and
Yeah, with a
you have
family,
your own kitchen, it's a nightmare.
yeah, I
And
agree.
then you're gonna be getting a million calls
Yes.
because it's a very stressful situation.
Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. And that's just like prepping the client before starting,
Yeah.
figuring out what the expectations are before you even get into the project. Like, what's your timeline? How do you see that? And then
Yeah.
what's your plan? Okay, for a bedroom, there may have an extra bedroom, not a big deal. An
Right.
extra bathroom, like a suite that you're doing, the master suite, but they have other bathrooms and bedrooms they can live in. Okay. But the kitchen, that's a hard one. The only bathroom in the house? How do you even do that? I've done that and my clients were so great. They just went to the gym and yeah, that's what they did. They went to the gym.
Shower at the gym?
I went to
That's
shower at the
perfect.
gym. They were like, "Oh, it's good because it forces us to go to the gym and work out." I'm like, "Okay."
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
My god.
But they did have another half bath. That made a big difference.
Okay.
Now, so, but yeah, yeah, tracking. And I think maybe we've said this before.
Yeah.
Our mentor group that we follow, one of the guys is totally about tracking every single thing, which has forced me to like say, oh, okay, I'll start tracking. And I
Yeah.
am seeing the benefits of tracking because now I'm like, I'm not blinded as to what I think I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, oh, that only took me 3 hours. No,
Yeah.
it didn't, Risha. It took you 7.
Yeah, I think also too, once you really get, you're paying attention to tracking everything, you really decide what projects you want and what projects are just not worth it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's been a ton of clarity for me,
Yeah.
honestly.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for joining us. If you're here, it's Elizabeth and myself, Risha. We meet every week. We do a live when we can. We try when we're consistently inconsistent. That's what we're consistent about. But we're doing it Tuesday afternoons, talking about business, talking about design business. Now that design business, as I have learned, is the business is the business. Like there 80% is business and 20% is really like design stuff. So if you don't even have a design business, some of these things are the same as a small business owner, as a business owner trying to run a business and grow. You're experiencing the same things. I know because I meet a lot of small business owners and they talk about the same things because it's about running your business, making it work. So
Right.
Elizabeth and I,
Awesome.
yeah, wearing all the hats.
Yeah.
So we talk about it once a week. We've been talking together for a few years because we have the same mentor and same thought process. And we're just making it work.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you're doing anything wrong, but go out and get educated. That's what I say. Yeah.
I'm always learning and always like, watching videos or taking courses or retaking the courses again, just for really important, just business information in general and, how to find the right clients and how to structure your business, your processes, all those things, which are super important in any business.
Right. And I don't know about you, Elizabeth, but I started this business was because I'm a great interior designer, but that doesn't mean that I knew anything about business. And I was just winging it as I'm going along. And that will only get you so far.
True.
So if anybody has any questions, we're here. Put them up in the chat. We're just saying hello as you come on in. Or if any comments, anything you wanted us to talk about. I wanted to talk about tracking today because I've been tracking, and it's a pain. With how do you track your hours? Like, do you like, because like what I spoke about it, I've got 10 minutes here and then a 15 minutes there and then 30 minutes and then 5. So how are you keeping track of that? What do you do?
I keep track of most of it in my calendar.
Mm,
So I will go into my calendar for the day and put everything in.
that's a good idea.
And then you can search, like in the calendar, you can search by like you can type in the
Right.
client name but yeah, that's what I find the best for me is the calendar and time blocking.
Yeah, I'm starting to do that a bit more, and it's something actually should be on my list of things to do. I
Yeah.
was making a list of things to do. On
Yeah.
my list of things to do was make a list of things to do.
Like I was always a great like to-do list person. Like every day when I would go into work, I'd have my to-do list and then I'd check things off and I felt so good about that. And I still do that. Like I still have my pad with my list. As much as we're digital, like I still like to write things down and then, start the next day with a new list.
Yeah. Well, I have an assistant and we have a written list of just things that have to get done
Yeah.
because we're trying different methods.
Yeah.
She is Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Z. What are you? Gen Z. She's younger than me. But it's amazing because, I am all paper and pen. I have
Mhm,
paper strewn everywhere in nice piles, mind you,
mhm.
and lovely designed piles. I'm often saying, "Where is your do you have a pen? Do you have a pen?" And she doesn't have a pen, she doesn't have paper, nothing. She's got her computer.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I like pen and paper.
Me too.
So, pen and paper, yeah.
So you guys.
She doesn't know what that is, she's saying. Yeah. But you gotta do something, whether it's a pen or paper, wherever it is, you gotta do your tracking on
Mhm.
as many KPIs and many points of your business that you can. Keep
Yeah.
track because in your mind, you're gonna think one thing, "Yeah, I made a lot of money." And then when it's really down on paper, you're like, "Huh, that wasn't worth it." Which is
That
like
happened a lot to you?
no, it doesn't happen a lot to me, but it just happened. I was like, hmm. It was a project that I was referred on. It was a collaboration. And I was thinking, okay, this is a good way to get started, working together. Let's see how it goes. Cause sometimes that's part of it, right? It's like, how do you decide who to work with and what projects are good to work with and the people that you want to work with?
Yeah.
And then it's like, huh, okay. Now, so I was just looking at that. We were looking at that this morning, and I was like, we need to revise that for the amount of time that was put into this project and the return on it.
Yeah.
It's not profitable.
Mm.
And like, okay, I'm a business, I'm not a charity,
Yeah.
and I got to pay my gas. So I was talking about, like, well, we have to revise how we do that then if we're going to work in that capacity.
Yeah. And that happens a lot. I mean, so many designers have that issue.
Well, I think you've talked about how you see some designers who are working with builders and contractors and, you know, then you're like they're charging X. And
Yeah,
you
like,
ask,
really?
yeah,
They're
and you
charging
ask like
holiday.
triple X and you're like, I don't even know based on what they're doing how they're even making money, right?
Exactly, exactly. And I think that's, everyone has to decide for them, like based on, their experience and their time and their value, what it's worth. I mean, because everyone is different. I just know for certain situations it's not worth it for me. And
Yes.
I can see it from the beginning, like one, if it's not going to be that profitable, then it's just detracting from other projects. And also too, I'm not gonna work for somebody else for and have it not be profitable. Like, there's plenty of other projects I could do for myself. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather spend my time doing that.
Absolutely, there's tons of other projects, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who are starting out, and I see it in the design chats who's like, "I don't know how to get started with one project." Like, I don't even know how you get started. So if you're doing that, just to get started, and we
That's
all do that.
different.
You gotta start somewhere, and,
Yeah,
like,
that's
I can tell
totally
you,
different.
yeah, how many projects I started way back when, didn't make any money on them, but I did it for get my experience,
Yeah,
pictures,
yeah,
and yeah, gave me some cash, and I'm
yeah,
like, "Okay." And it gave me an opportunity to kind of learn about how I do things.
yeah.
So for somebody just starting out in a business, maybe that's a good way to get started.
Yeah, I
But
actually made a video about this yesterday because
what'd you say?
the whole point of it was, like, after being in this industry for over 20 years in both commercial and residential design, like, I'm not learning on my clients anymore. So
Right,
when they're hiring me, they're paying for expertise, for
right.
decision, for clarity. And I can do that so much faster than I would have done 10 or 15 years
Oh,
ago. But
absolutely.
that's just comes with time
Yeah,
and
practice.
doing projects and learning and construction and all of that. So it's a totally different ballgame now. And when you have that expertise, you can you decide like how much you want to be paid and what it's worth to you. Take on those projects.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you wanna service your clients. for me, at the end of the day, if I've taken on a project and I've underquoted myself or, it's just I know that I'm gonna go to the finish
Yeah.
line and I'm gonna do
Yeah,
it
when you're
well.
stuck.
Right. And I'm stuck. But I also know that I'm not gonna stop doing it because I feel like I'm not getting paid. Unless we've agreed hourly, like this is an
Right.
hourly pay. Right.
Listen,
Okay.
you have a contract and
Right.
it's a flat fee, whatever
Right.
it is, you have to finish, but
Right.
you're stuck in a predicament, so that's not a good thing
Right.
to repeat.
No, it's not anything to be repeat, but I definitely like I just keep going. I'm like, okay, well, you're learning something in this process.
Yeah.
Learning not to do it again. But it happens all the time. So I think this is why the tracking back to tracking. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
that word another 10 times. Back to tracking is like, okay, so when I did that, what happened on that project that made me like 100 hours and I got paid 20 or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
How did that work? And sometimes it's in my contract. Okay, I need to revise my contract. Sometimes it's in my policies, you know. Like one of my policies, I don't answer texts at night. I have office hours for texts and emails and stuff. And I
Okay.
don't, so that's like shame on me for answering a text at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, see, that's you can do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I know. I used to do that too. I used to answer texts at night. I mean, years ago, texts at night and then early in the morning. I had a client that would like text me at like 5:30 in the morning. And it would get my whole day started and I'd be so annoyed.
okay.
Like, I don't want to wake up at 5:30 for someone asking me questions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so then but everything that happens, right? Then I started a policy. Okay, I'm no texting me,
Right.
like
But you know what?
that early or at
Right,
night.
but it's on me too. It's like, okay, text me, but
You have to keep the boundary.
I have to just not answer it. And like it may be a very good time for my client who's like, they're working all day, they're not thinking about it. They
Yeah.
get up in the morning, they go through their emails, and that's when they text because they're like, okay, these 5 things that I've been thinking about overnight, right? And I'm just like, that's fine, but
I
I
would
just
discourage texting completely. I
yeah,
want
it's
everything in email.
yeah.
Except, like, obviously, if it's an emergency and we're meeting that day and you need to get in touch with me, that's different, but I have really discouraged texting, and in the last couple of years, I don't really allow it, or if someone texts me, I will email them the response.
Yeah, we'd
Email correspondence.
well, definitely like to keep the email.
Yeah,
And like any important information goes into an email, gets it sent,
yeah.
response in there. If we've had a conversation, it's an email. Because yes, you can hold on to those texts, but the email is like going back and finding that email so much easier than going back in a 90-day text stream.
The texts are disruptive because if you're doing something and your text goes off, like to me, the text is urgent. So I would be a little bit more inclined to be like, okay, who's texting me? What's
Mm,
happening? And then it disrupts what you're doing. And then
sure.
if you don't look at the text or it's like, oh, it's not that important, I'll answer it later, then you got to go back.
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
feel like it's,
Yeah. I mean, I don't discourage it. I just decide that I'm not going to answer it or I'm going to answer it. But I do like you, I like to have everything in an email
yeah. Or
because
like if you get a text like late at night and you look at it and you're like going to go to sleep, now you're like agitated.
that's on you, Elizabeth. Come on. They can't agitate you unless you want to be agitated. Come on. Come on. Come
Yeah, but
on.
normally, if it's
Oh,
hold on.
I can't hear you.
Normally, if it's a late night text, it might be because there's like a problem on the job site or something. You know what I'm saying? It's not like an easy kind of
Yeah.
question.
Like, okay, the water's spewing out of the like
Right. It's might
tap
be
in this.
something
Right.
that's could wait till the next day, but
Yeah.
maybe they've had
No.
a bad day.
Right. Well, exactly. Yeah. Maybe they had a bad day. Right. Exactly. That's why it is. I try not
Yeah.
to take anything personally. I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
know exactly. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I know that, that falls into like, you're working with a client and they're unsure, you know, because they can't see the whole picture and they're getting angsty and, frustrated because they're like, well, I don't see how this is going to work. It's like, okay, just calm down. All we're doing right now is we're just picking furniture pieces,
Yeah.
not even picking fabrics. Like, this is just looking at the furniture pieces, the shapes and the dimensions. We're going to move into the next stage, which is all the fabric selections for the furniture pieces or the finished pieces, right? And people get, because most people are not, um,
Yeah.
or you get one piece in, right? It gets delivered, which I don't like to do, but sometimes it happens,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
during
No.
COVID. You get one piece in and the clients are, um,
Yeah.
saying, well, it doesn't go. I'm like, okay, it doesn't go with the garbage in your house. I understand that. I don't say that. I don't say that. I'm kidding. Well, it doesn't go with what you have right now because it's not supposed to go with something. It's a
Yeah.
piece of the whole puzzle.
Yeah.
Wait
Exactly.
until we get the whole puzzle. It's like when you're doing a puzzle. I did a puzzle this weekend, and you're looking at the piece. Oh, it doesn't go in this stupid puzzle. It does. It's just that you haven't got to that part to
Right.
put it in, right?
But you know what I think of too, like when I'm in a situation like that, but now being, having mentors and things and
Right.
learning, I would have never reacted this way like over 5 years ago. I would take it personally and I would get mad. But now
Right.
I think about what Grant tells us all the time. It's like a complaint. It's not
Yeah.
really, just like kind of don't even really focus on it.
Right. I mean, I don't have to justify it. All I'm
And I,
doing is just saying,
you know,
I get it. No problems. It's gonna be done. It'll be taken care of, right? I agree. I've definitely changed my mindset on that with Grant's,
yeah.
teachings
It
because
harmed you, honestly, like, the showroom project we're doing, which is still under construction, we still
right,
don't have the floors in, but this week they'll go in. But I'm just not bringing anyone in there, like, I'm not having meetings in there right now
right,
because there's no floor.
right,
I'm not gonna bring people in there, whether it's, contractors or people wanna see the space, but I'm like, "Until there's a floor, I'm not bringing anybody in there,
right. Why would you?
period."
Yeah,
But it's just putting a boundary in place, making a situation for yourself where it's less stressful.
agreed. Yeah. Well, you just, and I think that's just in knowing what you're bringing to the table and having the confidence in your design, having the confidence that you're doing it right. Because, like,
Yeah.
even 16 years later, sometimes I think, was that supposed to be a 30-inch tray? Was it 36? No, it's 30-inch. Risha, you measured it, you put 30 inches. Why are you questioning yourself?
Yeah.
I'm like I don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give myself angst about it. I'm like, okay, no, you did it right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's okay. I've got it covered because I've done it enough times.
Exactly.
Well, it's 3:33. I love these synchronicities with time lately. 3:33.
That's a good.
We're always here on Tuesdays, consistently inconsistent in our time,
Yeah.
but we come live. Elizabeth and I are we have chats. Design tea, which is all of the scoop on the design business. So join us. Happy to answer questions if you're with us. And we will be back next week. We did say 4:30, but maybe it won't be.
It's gonna depend on our schedules. It'll be some
But it's, like,
I
yeah,
do
later.
the afternoon better than the morning.
Yeah. So we used to do it in the morning and we decided that wasn't working so much for us.
Yeah.
And so we hope that, next Tuesday around 4:30, we'll be here talking our design tea and love to have you join us. We're here to, make it easy. Anything you want to add?
Yeah. I mean, we all go through the same issues, whether it's business or design specifically or just business in general, just the process of, running a business. And so we talk about what's happening, each week, what we have going on. So hopefully you can relate and we can give some information to help you guys out there.
Right. And maybe we find solutions for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I'll ask, "Elizabeth, I have this, what do you do?" And then she comes up, "Well, that's a great idea. Let me try that and see if that works in my business."
Exactly.
Because I am a great designer. Business eludes me in lots of areas, so I'm working on it,
Well,
working
you're
and
working
learning.
on you're doing a good job.
You too. All right.
Okay,
Thanks
well,
so much for joining us.